Welcome to A Better HR Business, the podcast that looks at how HR consultants and HR tech firms grow their businesses and how they help their employers to get the best out of their people. Remember, for show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Okay, let's get started.
Hi, thanks for joining me today. Nice to have you along. With my newsletter, blog, LinkedIn posts, podcast, etc., I get lots of queries from people and from companies around the world, and there are all sorts of different questions, but it tends to boil down to one big thing, and that is, what should we do next? And so there are all sorts of sub-questions or individual things, such as, should we be running paid ads somewhere, or do we need a blog? What should we be posting on LinkedIn? What types of companies should we be approaching? And if we are, why are they ignoring us? Should I write a book? What about Google AdWords? What do we say on our website? Should we be making videos? How do we send emails? Do we use HubSpot or MailChimp or MailerLite or something else? And how do we decide what to offer? And what's the right angle to take in sales meetings? And how do we get more clients? All of these questions come through, but they tend to be wrapped up in the overall context of what should we be doing next. And it does tend to feel a little bit overwhelming for people because there are so many options. And so I thought I might just share a simple 5-step process that I tend to use with clients, whether they be consultants or consulting firms or HR tech firms. And this simple 5-step process is quite useful. So the first step is to get crystal clear on your ideal client types, and then make sure your service offerings are aligned so that they're much more appealing to those ideal clients. And the idea is to find your business sweet spots, because you can't be all things to everyone. It's not necessarily about choosing a niche, a section of the industry or an industry only, and only dealing that area, although I recommend it. But it's not just about that. It is about finding your business sweet spot. And then what you do is you use that to nail down your sales messaging, so you can use that in all of your sales and marketing. And so I tend to approach this with clients using one or two spreadsheet assessment methods. One is where you've got a list of existing clients and we analyze who you've got and where they come from, some of the pain points, things like that. And that is so powerful when you combine it with the revenue to understand, well, what kind of business is bringing us in more types of work. So that's one method. For the other ones where it's either a new product offering or it's a new business, or on the individual side, they're just starting out, so they don't have that client data. It's more around understanding what are the use cases, the situations that you're potentially going to be offering services for, and then combining that with some other data. Because that then feeds into the second step in the process, which is to identify your marketing preferences and roadblocks. And the idea is that you're going to play to your strengths, because everyone is different, every business is different. So it's interesting to work out, what are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? What strengths do you have within the business? And then apply that to the types of marketing and then play to your strengths. So I know some people, they love text-based posts. Some companies, they've got large writing teams or video production teams or sales teams. So they've got natural strengths and preferences. So the key is to understand those and then leverage them, because there are so many options out there. You don't want to be doing everything. So the key is to understand what you're good at, what you want to do, and play to your strengths. Because then you're going to select the best marketing methods for your business. And as I said, it's different for every person and every business. It depends on your personality, your preferences, your budget, your goals, all that kind of stuff. But that's the second step, identifying your marketing preferences and then selecting the best marketing methods for your business. Next is, you've got all these ideas, strengths, preferences, preferred approaches and things. Let's make it concrete now by creating your own 90-day marketing plan. So you set out your plan in a very clear one-page Gantt chart with specific goals and activities. I've done and I've seen marketing plans where it's 50 pages long with every little piece of detail ever conceived. You put that in there. No one ever reads it. It's not practical. The one-page marketing plan based on a 90-day plan, it just works wonders. And I know one consultant, we were talking, she told me that she credits her program of 90-day marketing plans as being the main driver for her to rapidly go from being a solo consultant to becoming a highly successful $1 million plus consulting company with staff and clients right across the US. So it's such a simple thing, but just so powerful. And obviously you can build out a 1-year plan or a 5-year plan, something like that. But the 90-day thing, it's like a sprint. You can see it in concrete terms. It's practical. You've got solid targets to aim for, and you just then build the next one upon that, rather than trying to build some broad generic thing across 12 months. So much harder to plan when it's stretched out for so long. You can still have long-term goals, absolutely, but the 90-day plan is the best way to implement the overall program to reach those goals. So the next one is, look, if you're going to spend money, you're going to want to create your own marketing budget. And so this needs to be a clear one-page spreadsheet that just tracks expected versus actual marketing spend. Now, plenty of companies don't spend on advertising or pay promotion or things like that. So there's not always going to be a marketing budget in place. But if you are going to have any spend at all, it makes sense to create the marketing budget. And again, there are all sorts of different ways and huge budget types that you can have with multi-tabs that track everything, and all the data needs to be recorded, sure. But the one-page spreadsheet just works the best. It's there, you understand it. You can see expected versus actual spend. Just so much easier to take action with it. Then the last step in the 5-step process is just to work the plan, track your business goals and metrics. So you're starting with the end in mind. What numbers do you want to achieve? And then how you're going to measure your progress based on that 90-day program you've built out. Set the realistic targets and then work towards them every day like clockwork. You can add some leading and lagging indicators that show if you're making progress, and that if they are in fact turning into dollars, euros, pounds, whatever it may be, they're actually turning into client revenue. But work the plan and then track your business goals and metrics. So as I mentioned, there are different preferences and styles and different approaches. One size definitely does not fit all. Not every marketing method is right for your business, and there are so many different ways to promote your HR-related business. You've got email, Google Ads, podcasting, there's advertising and HR media, the SHRM or the CIPD or the RE in Australia. All these different HR media you can be advertising and promoting in. There are online conferences, you can do thought leadership, Facebook ads, webinars, articles, SEO, referrals, video, offline, PR, YouTube advertising, engineering is marketing. You can be at trade shows, offline events, LinkedIn ads, speaking engagements, etc. You can't and you shouldn't do it all. That'd just be crazy. So if this does feel a little bit overwhelming to you, or if you'd like some help implementing the process, I can guide you through that sort of maze of confusing options. I can help you choose the right marketing methods for you and your business. And that's what I've done for hundreds of other HR business owners around the world to help them build a better business. So I can help you via almost being a de facto marketing director to guide you as you design and launch and run your 90-day marketing plan, which I think is just such a great way to start to accelerate the process. So I can give you clear instructions and advice on how to do it, and answer questions you might have along the way, such as if you want to produce thought leadership that attracts new clients. I can guide you through how you do that. If you want to advertise on Google or LinkedIn or somewhere else, no problem. I can show you how to do that. Or if you want to be contacting prospective clients via email or LinkedIn or whatever, I'll show you how to do that. If you want to start a podcast, make thought leadership videos, if you want to team up with other non-competing HR industry companies in the form of a partnership or some other co-marketing approach, I'll tell you exactly how to do that. So whatever your marketing plan entails, I can guide you through and tell you exactly what you need to do and just answer any questions you have along the way. If there's a plan in place, you've got certain milestones, I can keep you on your toes to keep that process moving forward. So if this sounds good to you and you'd like some more details, you can learn more by visiting my website at www.getmorehrclients.com/services. And when you're ready to have a chat about getting started, you can request a call using the form on that page. And the form just asks a few questions that help me determine if this is a good fit. From there, we'll have a quick conversation to clarify your situation, goals, and ambitions. And if it's a good fit, we can get started there and then, and we can start building out your 90-day plan very quickly after that. I should point out that it's not a training course or a coaching program or something like that. It's me working directly with you, either one-on-one or with your team, whether that's internal team, marketing team, even with agencies. But it's direct support for your business. So remember, I studied HR, I worked in HR, I ran my own HR consultancy, and now I only work with ambitious HR related businesses. So I'm very confident that we've got the information and the process and the tools to make this a success for you. So if that sounds good to you, I'll give you the website address again and go and check out the details. It's getmorehrclients.com/services. So go check it out now and get in touch when you're ready. In the meantime, have a very good day.
Thanks for joining us today on A Better HR Business, the podcast that explores the world of HR consulting and HR tech businesses. For show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Remember to subscribe and share the show with any friends who are busy growing a HR business. Thanks, and see you next time.